Hi everyone. Thanks for coming back with us on Returning to Basics. Back in the winter, I had the itch to play in the dirt. I found some potatoes, organic potatoes, in the back of the pantry. And I just had to do something with them. It's like throw them away or plant them. So I had buckets and had holes in the bottom of them for drainage for something else last year. So I brought them in. And as potatoes grow, you cover them up so that they'll produce potatoes all up and down through here. So the issue I have is that they're growing great guns and I run out of bucket. So this is what we did. And we're going to do more today. We cut the bottom out of this bucket. Neil uses the bottom part with holes in it up at the dogwood trace to put pellets in for the deer. So it's not going to waste. So this, we just pulled the little pepper cage out and did them up like this and slid this in. And now I'm going to fill it up to here with more potting soil so that we'll get more potatoes. At least we're going to try. I'm hoping to have some good seed potatoes at least out of this. But it was throw them away or grow something. So grow something in my book. So come along with us as we do this one. And I have a small one outside that has, it's a 3-gallon, isn't it, Neil? I believe it's a 3-gallon. And I just had more potatoes than I knew what to do with. So I just kept looking for buckets. And so we're going to address this issue today. And we'll show you at the end of the season on these just how well we did in buckets in the sunroom in the winter. We'll be right back. This is my little 3-gallon pot. And this pepper cage has seen better days. I had to support it. But I look back on my calendar and the two 5-gallon pots and this 3-gallon pot of potatoes were planted on January the 29th. So.
And it's now?
It is currently March 15th. So they only had sunroom, winter sun, which is okay. It's not a lot of direct sun, but you can grow a lot more than you think with some dappled light and winter sun.
In a month and a half.
In a month and a half. So anyway, Neil's going to cut me a bucket to go in here. I didn't have another 3-gallon, so we're going to try one of these pots. Got a tree in it somewhere along the line. And this bucket was already seen better days. He cut the bottom off of it, and it has holes in it he can use up at dogwood trace. So this will go in the 5-gallon one like the white one did in there. So, all right, now let's get with it.
Okay, I'm using my angle grinder, 4.5 inch, and I have a little thin cutoff wheel here that I use. It does great on this plastic, and that's what I'll be doing to cut Teresa's bucket off. Let me show you here. Plug it into the outlet. Come right over here. No fuss, no muss. Real easy. And we'll have a bottom to use for something. And there she'll have that top to put on here. And it'll go right in here and extend that. And she'll be able to fill it up to there with more compost and whatever she's doing. And we'll just keep adding it on as it goes up.
All right, let's get this done. Just being careful As I said, this pepper cage has seen better days. It's been up pretty bad, but it's been working. Stay there. And we'll use that over. The potatoes I planted are down here near the bottom. And this is only potting soil mix. So I'm just rotating it, getting it to go down in there so that it'll be stable. And now we'll just backfill.
And for those of us who know nothing about potatoes and planting potatoes, the question that I have is, will that not smother and kill the plant?
No. I was talking to my mother-in-law, and she recalled when she was a girl, her and her mother planted the potatoes. That was her responsibility, was to help with potatoes. So they went out and planted the potatoes under about that much dirt, 2-3 inches. And after they'd get so tall, they'd have to go out and heap dirt up over them. And she said they kept doing that and kept doing that through the summer. So that's what I'm hoping to accomplish here. Also, a number of years ago, probably 3 years ago, I saw a video a lady did. She lived in Florida, and she had a big rain barrel, and somebody suggested that she try planting potatoes in it. She thought they were crazy. But she went ahead. She came up from the bottom a little bit, like, you know, I'm doing here, and put potatoes in there and covered them. And as they came up in the rain barrel, she just put some more dirt on them, put some more dirt on them. And at the end of the season, they turned the rain barrel over, and I think she said that there was like 50 pounds of potatoes in there. I don't recall what variety they were, but I thought, well, that's doable. If you don't have a lot of space, that's doable. So now, truthfully, you want to cover them when they're about this high above the dirt. So see, I don't have that option in the pots.
Well, I guess we could put another pot on top of it.
You'll have to get me another pot. I don't
Okay.
have another pot. But that's the concept, is you keep covering them. And these are starting to bloom. So I'm going to have to do some more research and find out if that signifies that they're coming to the end of their life, or if they have to bloom in order to produce at the bottom. But I do know you have to keep covering them as they grow. So we'll get back with you on that. Now let's put this back in so that they stay nice and tall, straight. I have to turn them in the sunroom. The sun coming in the windows, you see how they're all, well, you might not be, how they're all turned that way. They gravitate towards the sun. So I have to turn the bucket around about every other day so that they stay straight. Get them in there without damaging them. And I'm trying to make sure that I keep the tines on the outside because I planted the potatoes more on the inside. And there's 2 in this bucket. So, there you have it. I'll probably put a little more potting soil in here to come up here as high as I can. And potting soil is a very soft, light, fluffy mix. And that's great for your root crops because they need to go down and spread and grow. So if you put anything in that's real dense, then you may get some produce, but it probably will be smaller than what it would have been if it was in a medium that is so light and fluffy. Also, the fluffiness of this will mean that it will settle more, but it will also drain better. So that way you don't drown your root crops, which I have done many times. I learned to use a moisture meter that I bought at a big box store, big long prongs, got a little thing at the top. You stick it in the soil and it tells you wet, dry. There's just a little scale that the one thing just turns back and forth. And that has helped me tremendously because I watered a lot of things too much. But now we'll try to find another bucket somewhere and come up a little higher. Good experiment. I planted these January 29th. So, and we planted these in the tubs. Neil will reference another video where we planted, and I also plant according to the Farmer's Almanac. I don't hear much about that on YouTube anywhere, but my father-in-law could raise anything, and my grandmother could raise anything, and they always went by the almanac. There's a certain time of the moon phase that you plant things that grow below ground, and a certain time that you plant above the ground. So you might want to look into that. So far for me, that's worked out very well. And as I said, they could grow anything, and they went by that. Maybe it'll give you some ideas on what you can try, and maybe you can grow some of your own food. Everybody needs to know how to grow something, even if it's just lettuce. And that lettuce is probably one of the easiest things you can grow. So give it a try. You'll be amazed at how rewarding it is to grow your own food. We did find some more pots. We filled them up as far as pots we had. As you can see, this one has 3. This one has 4. And this one has 2. I did a little more research. Blooming just means that they're mature enough to start producing potatoes. And you let them grow until they die back naturally. I mean, you water them and they will continue to grow for quite a while. So we may not let these get to full maturity as far as height. They're getting a little bit hard to control now. But my research said that after potato tops die back, you leave them in the ground 2 weeks and the skins on the potatoes will cure. After that, you can harvest them. And the reason you want them to cure is it protects them from diseases and things when you're storing them, like raw potatoes in a pantry or something. But I intend to can. We'll eat what we want, and then I'm planning to can the rest of them. So that's not going to be as big an issue for me. So I'm really thrilled with all this progress, and we will be sure and let you know how it all turns out. We will be moving them outside since it is such a warm week. If we have a cold snap, it's not a big issue to move them back inside. They're on rollers. But for now, we're going to let them enjoy the sunshine outside. Thanks again for coming along. We'll see you on the next one.